So good morning guys. So this is the derivation of our series connection and parallel connection of your resistance. So let's say we have a series circuit. This is your R1, R2, R3. And also I will put a source, DC source. Let's say this will be your VT. Take note that parallel in series connection of resistors, we have the voltages of each resistor. You have your V1, V2, and V3. And also, the current running into your series resistance is equal. You have your I total. Therefore, considering this equation, I may say that your I total is equal to your I1, which is also equal to your I2, which is equal to your I3. This is your series connection. So, from this series connection of resistors, there are three important qualities that I want to emphasize to you. We have your I total, which is equal to your I1, I2, and I3, and your V total, which is equal to your V1 plus V2 plus V3. So let's let's use your KVL in order to derive or in order to get the equation of your V total. So KVL at your loop. You have your V total is equal to, so passive sign convention, you have your positive, positive, positive. So it's equal to your V1 plus V2 plus V3. Normally, kung saan pumapasok itong arrow na to, yun yung sign ng equation nyo or ng variable nyo sa equation. So, bakit naging positive V theta? Normally, pumasok to sa negative ng VT. Negative VT. Yan. So, negative VT, pag gusto nyo makita talang equation, you have your 0 is equal to your V1 plus V2, pumasok sa positive ng V2, plus sa positive ng V3, minus negative VT. So, therefore, you have, since your VT is equal to V1 plus V2 plus V3, pag sinubstitute yung VT dito, your equation will be equal to 0 because that is your conservation of energy. Take note that your VT follows the rule of the conservation of energy because your V is equal to your dE over dQ. Tama ba? It is the change of energy with respect to charge. Okay? So, using your Ohm's law, this is your KVL. Okay? KVL. Then, using our Ohm's law. Using Ohm's law, I know that your V is equal to your IR. Right? But what is your IR? Your IR is equal to, let's say, V1 at V1, your IR is equal to your I1 and your R1. Your I1 and your I1. So R1 multiplied by your R1. So I1 multiplied by your R1 at V2, you have your I2 multiplied by your R2, and at V3 you have your R3 I3 multiplied by your R3. But take note that your I1 note that your I1 is equal to your I2, which is also equal to your I3, which is equal to your I total. Right? Tama ba guys? So after getting that equation, we may say that your V1 is equal to I, IT multiplied by your R1, which is also equal to IT multiplied by R2, and your V3 is also equal to your IT multiplied by your R3, right? So therefore, using your KVL, your equation, let's say this will be your equation total, equation 1. So papalitan ko lang yung kulay para hindi kayo malito. Equation 1. Equation 1. So substituting these values to your equation 1, substituting to equation 1, substitute to equation 1, we have V total is equal to your I total multiplied by your R1 plus your I total multiplied by your R2 plus your I total multiplied by your R3. But what is your V total? Note that since your V total, your V1, V2, and V3 follows the what's called the Ohm's law, your V total also follows the Ohm's law. So your V total is equal to your I total multiplied by your R total. So therefore, I may say that my I total, uh, my V total is equal to your I total multiplied by your R total is equal to your I total multiplied by R1 plus I total multiplied by R2 plus I total multiplied by your R3. Right? Oh, do you understand, guys? So, what would be your prediction? So, if you manipulate the equation more, you will have I total, factoring your I total to all the equation or to all the variables. You have I total multiplied by your R1 plus R2 plus R3, which is equal to your I total multiplied by your R total. So, take note that I total divided by I total is equal to 1, right? So therefore, I may say that the formula is equal to R total. So magka-cancel yan. Actually not cancel because they will divide each other, which they are equal variables. So magka-cancel yan. It will be equal to 1. Okay? So you have your R total is now equal to your R1 plus R2 plus R3. That is the formula for your series resistance. Okay. Next is that the formula for your parallel resistance. So in that parallel resistance, so I will just draw parallel resistance. So yan. Okay. So parallel resistance. Yeah. Yung inulit-ulit ko dito sa parallel resistance natin is that your voltage is equal. So, how will we determine if your resistance that you are solving is series or parallel? So, as I have said in our module, if if the resistance are magkahawak, sabihin natin ulo, paa, ibig sabihin nun nakaseries siya. Pero, pag magkatapat yung ulo at paa, that is nakaparallel. Okay? If they are facing each other, you may call it as parallel. But take note that before judging the equations or the circuit in parallel, you must first know the nodes. So, ito yung kailangan yung tignan sa pagtingin nyo ng parallel resistance. Dapat nagko-connect yung terminal 1 at terminal 2 nya sa isang nodes lang. So, terminal 1 is connected to the terminal 1 of the other resistors or connected to the other terminal of the resistor 1, 2, 3. Let's say 1, 2, 3. And the negative terminal or the other terminal of your R is connected to the other terminal of your R. Dapat magkakakonekta yan. Pag may isang series dyan na resistance, you can never call it as parallel resistance. Okay? Maliwanag ba? So, tatanggalin natin ha. Tatanggalin natin guys. Okay. This is your parallel resistance. So, we have your R1, R2, and R3. Take note that your parallel resistance, the most important uh, the most important principle to know in your parallel resistance is that your V total is equal to your V1, which is also equal to your V2, which is also equal to your V3. Take note that your parallel resistance uh, follows the rule of the conservation of charges, wherein your I total input should be equal to your output. Didistribute lang yan. Okay? So, you have your I1 going to, let's say, node A, and then I2 going out to node B, and then your I3 going out to node 3. I1, I2, and I3. Okay, pwede kahit ilang resistance siya. This will be the scenario. I total will be equal to your I1 plus I2 plus I3. So, how will we solve it then? By using the principle of your Kirchhoff's current law. Okay? So, ang isipin nyo lang, pag pumasok sa node, that is your positive. Pag lumabas sa node, that is your negative. Okay? So, take note that it can be rewritable into a single node. Ito. Isang node actually ito. Okay? Isang node yan. So, we may write it into V total. We have our V total. Yan. So, we have your yan. That will be your wala to. Walang kanyan. Walang resistance yan. Okay. This will be your I total. Papunta siya sa R1. Papunta siya sa R2. Papunta siya sa R3. Okay, para hindi kayo malito. Yan. Yan. Baka mamaya sabi niyo, sir, ang dami namang node yan. Actually, pag parallel yan, itong node na to can be rewritten into a single node A. Diyan pumapasok at lumalabas nung current natin. Okay, we have your I total. We have our I1, I2. Actually, in your circuit analysis, affects your analysis affects the things on how you will view things, your circuit diagram. So, paano mo i-improve yun? So, number one is that kailangan mo lang mag-solve in order for your brain to register the different circuit analysis that would be discussed. So, we have our V total. So, we have your I1, I2, and I3. So, paano natin isosolve yan? So, dyan pumapasok yung KCL natin. Using KCL, we have, so, I total, pumasok siya, positive. Positive I total. Then lumabas yung node, yung I1. So, you have your negative I1, negative I2, lumabas sa node. So, considering at node A to, ha? Okay, minus I3 equals 0. Note that this follows the rule of your conservation of charges. Since I is equal to your dq over dt. Okay? So, is equal to 0. This is at KCL at node A. At node A. So, therefore, I may say that your I total is equal to your I1 plus I2 plus I3. Okay? I may name it as your equation 1. Equation 1. Okay? So, using Ohm's law, we have your V total is equal to your V1, which is equal to V2, which is equal to V3. This is the most important law or principle that you should remember in every parallel circuit. So, pag nakalimutan nyo yan, delikado yan. Okay? You will use it in every analysis that you would do. Right? So, you have your I1 plus I2 plus I3. But, since the principle that we are using is that we are now considering the current of the parallel circuit, so therefore I may say, using your Ohm's law, we have V total is equal to your I total multiplied by R total. And also, I may say that your V1 is equal to your I1, which is equal to your R1, multiplied by your R1. And your V2 is equal to your I2, multiplied by R2. And your V3 is equal to your I3, multiplied by your R3. Right? So, using this principle, we may derive the formula for your parallel connection. So, how? So, basically, katulad ng ginawa natin sa series connection, we will use your equation 1. So, using your equation 1, so substituting this equation to equation 1. Substitute to equation 1. To equation 1. Okay, anong gagamitin natin? Siyempre yung I. Right? Yung I. Remembering that your I total, so based on your Ohm's law, you have your V total is equal to your I total multiplied by your R total. So, I total is equal to V total divided by your R total. Right? Okay. But, the principle that I have been telling you, in parallel, in parallel, in parallel, we have V total is equal to your V1, which is equal to your V2. Right? So, therefore, I total, so let's substitute this to your equation 1, your parallel combination. So, we have I total is equal to your V total all over your R total is equal to your V1 all over your R1 plus your V2 all over your R2 plus your V3 all over your R3. So, therefore, Since your V1 is equal to V2, which is also equal to V3, I may say that your V total over your R total is equal to your V total all over your R1 plus V total all over your R2 plus, nag-iiba yung angle niya guys, sorry plus V total all over your R3. So factoring out your V total, so we may say that your V total all over R total is equal to your V total multiplied by 1 or over your R1 plus 1 all over your R2 plus 1 all over your R3. So considering your V total, we'll have your total resistance as 1 all over R total, which is equal to your 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2 plus 1 all over R3. This is your equation for your R total. So by cross multiplication, I may say that your R total is equal to, therefore, your R total may be equal to, pag cross multiply natin siya, itong R total na to pataas. Okay? And then ito pa rin, pababa. Yan. Okay? So we'll have a value equal to R total is equal to 1 all over your 1 over R1 plus 1 over R2 plus 1 over R3. Pag ginamit nyo itong formula to sa calculator nyo, just, anong gagawin nyo? 1 all over inverse. Para hindi kayo mahirapan. Okay? This is the derivation of your parallel combination. So, any question guys? So, pag may question kayo, just just chat me in our messenger. Or if you understand the derivation already, please review your lessons. And also, I will make a video for the examples of this module. Ladies and gentlemen, good night and thank you.